WWE, don't you do it. Don't even think about it, because this is how WWE can ruin AJ Lee's return match. I know they desperately want to, right? And I have a theory as to why, but just don't do it. Just don't do it. I feel like I'm on Team AJ here. All right, I'm speaking for the voice of the voiceless here, to take a page out of CM Punk's book. Just don't do it. Look, we are literally days away from WrestlePalooza, a very interesting event that will see the return of AJ Lee. In-ring return, her first match in over a decade, and doing so with her husband CM Punk, as they take on our women's Intercontinental Champion Becky Lynch and our World Heavyweight Champion Seth Rollins. It's going to be a banger. Now, I'm not going to lie to y'all. I do think WWE, they've already made a mistake. They made the mistake of having Brock Lesnar versus John Cena as the main event. I don't think that was the right call. I understand why they did it. I just don't think they should have. I actually think it should have been AJ Lee and CM Punk reuniting, teaming up in the mixed tag team match to headline the show. Now, I'll get more on that in a minute, but let's talk about what they have to do not to screw things up. Did you watch Monday Night Raw this week? I did. Highlights, of course. But I saw it, and it was a very interesting angle. And it made me feel a little bit better about the situation. But with WWE, with pro wrestling in general, well, it can be a little unpredictable, as we've all learned to grow accustomed to, I guess, if you will. So, of course, this week's Monday Night Raw, there's a face-to-face, and Becky gets promo time, and Seth, and AJ, everybody. Everybody gets to talk, right? And then they laid out AJ Lee as CM Punk had to watch. Ah, just devastating cinema, right? Well, it got me thinking. Okay, we have AJ Lee. She hasn't worked a match since 2015, which is absolutely bananas. They're not going to beat AJ Lee in her first match back, right? Well, that's what I'm a little worried about. So, WWE has a plan, right? They have a plan with this match, they have a plan with this feud, and this is what it is. You're going to do the mixed tag team match. You're going to have AJ Lee's big return in her return match. And you're going to do so, and you're going to slowly introduce her. You're going to slowly get that ring rust off of her and do so in a mixed tag team match rather than just a singles match with Becky Lynch. Plus, why do everything at once? Why not get two matches out of this instead of one? So that's why they're doing it, the mixed tag team match. It also makes more sense to just do a mixed tag team match before the singles match, but still, don't you worry. We're going to get that singles match. We're going to get the women's Intercontinental Championship match between Becky Lynch and AJ Lee. Don't know when, don't know where, don't know anything. I just know it's going to happen because that's just booking 101, right? The problem is, what do? Do you have AJ Lee and CM Punk win the mixed tag team match, and then you go on to the rematch and either have AJ go over Becky and win the women's IC title, or do you have Becky kind of get a little bit of revenge and you split the girls and the boys away from each other? I think if WWE goes in there, has AJ Lee lose this mixed tag team match, her first match in a decade, I think it's a major mistake. And I think it sets a really bad start to her return tour. Okay, because this is what this is. She's on a multi-year deal. She's under contract. She's here to stay. She's here to work. She's here to put folks over and make stars while cashing some big old hefty checks and championships along the way. That's what we're getting here, folks. But I'm just afraid that if AJ Lee doesn't go over here, I think it sets the precedent of, oh, no. She's a nostalgic act. She is a nostalgia act to get others over instead of getting others over while also being a true main event player that she once was. Okay? That's why I say if WWE beats her, it ruins the run. There's so much, and I feel like it's kind of going under the radar. Not a lot of people are talking about this. I think they should. You gotta have AJ Lee go over. I don't even think it's up to debate. Like, I understand the argument. Okay, so you have AJ, you have Punk, they go over in the mixed tag team match, and then Becky just beats her next. Okay, I'm okay with that. I've also seen the argument of, well, you have to have AJ lose this match. She doesn't have to get pinned, right? They can do some type of screw job finish, whatever. But you have AJ and CM Punk lose. That way, the great AJ Lee can get her big comeuppance, her big revenge spot when she challenges, ultimately beats Becky Lynch, and wins the women's IC title. I've seen that argument as well. I'm not a huge fan of that because how do you get to that singles match? So logic would tell you. Now, that's not to say that WWE A uses logic all the time and B even uses it at all. But if you're making the case from a realistic standpoint, right? The real era, the Triple H era. If you're making the case of, hey, how do we get to a rematch? How do we get to a singles match? How do we get to a women's IC title match? Well, the logic would say, well, it's simple. You just have AJ Lee pin Becky Lynch in the match. Punk already has a built-in, hey, Seth, you screwed me over for my world title when you cashed in Money in the Bank. I want your title. I'm going to beat you. That's the reason why I'm getting this. I see that. But for AJ, if she doesn't win here, what is she supposed to do? Is she just supposed to, just skip everyone in line? Adam Pearce just give her the championship match because she's a returning AJ Lee? That's not really babyface to me. Does that sound like babyface to you? Not really. Not to say they won't do it. There's a very good possibility WWE just says, screw it, here's a title shot, despite the fact that you just lost your most and only match in the last decade. But here, why not? You're a big time star, you're nostalgia. Here you go. Here's a title match. I can see them doing that as well. I hope they don't do that because, look, we all know, sorry y'all, in case you didn't know, wrestling is predetermined. But when you're watching it, you don't want to be told that it's predetermined. It's the weirdest thing in the world, okay? I'm a guy that I'm still a fan, but I was a lifelong fan and I got into the business at covering it. And every time the TV is on, every time there's a segment that plays out, you want to disbelieve just a little bit, right? You want to believe, you want to buy into the story. We all know we're walking out of the movie theater and someone's not Superman, right? But for those 2 hours, you just want just disbelief in it, right? Buy into it. Well, it's what you get with wrestling. But you got to give us a little bit of logic, even though we're still pretending. That's all I'm saying.